If you guys want to reach 1 million subscribers, we are in the middle of a series where we are learning how Cute Girl Hairstyles and Brooklyn and Bailey and their dad got them to 1 million subscribers multiple times. And today we're focusing on how their posting schedule and consistency impacted that growth. Hey guys, my name is Tim Schmoyer. This is Video Creators. We're helping you grow your YouTube audiences so you can reach people and change their lives. Shaun's all about that, and his family, Brooklyn and Bailey, and Cute Girl Hairstyles. And we're learning some of the tips, tricks, and tactics that they use to grow to 1 million subscribers, and consistency was part of that.
It was a huge part of it.
So tell me about that. What does that mean for you guys? When you say consistency, are you meaning in value? Are you meaning in schedule, or what?
I think it's a very broad, I know, but I'm talking mostly on schedule, because at the time we had 4 children. We had 5 children at the time. We were busy, so we couldn't put content up. There were daily vloggers at the time we started, the Shaytards and Phil DeFranco and Charles Trippy and these original OG vloggers were doing daily.
Yeah.
We just couldn't do that. But I thought back often to 4th grade. Every Friday night at 7 p.m., Dukes of Hazzard was on. It didn't matter where we were. We could be at the park playing football. When it was like 6:45, we all left and we were all at home in front of our TVs watching the end of the news or whatever it was, or commercials, so that we didn't miss a second of Dukes of Hazzard. And at the end, there was some sort of cliffhanger, and we had to wait a week, and we went about our activities, and by the time that next Friday came, we were right in front of the TV early, so we didn't miss a second of Dukes of Hazzard. And that psychological process still applies.
Yes.
So when we were creating our content, we knew we couldn't do daily, but we picked a day of the week at the same time, and we created a consumption pattern with our viewers that they knew when to expect us, which was great, because if they got there early, guess what they were doing? They were watching last week's video, and you would get, tens of thousands of them doing that. So your last week's video gets a bump right before the new one goes live.
Oh, interesting.
So being that consistent for us was key, because it created a pattern of consumption that was they could come to expect. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, you need to deliver on that, which means we've never missed a week. We've never missed a day in that entire time. We deliver on that expectation.
So if you can go that long without missing a day, that means you must be planning out. This isn't like, oh shoot, we need a video tomorrow type of thing.
Correct.
Because if you operate that way, you're always going to miss.
Yes.
Like a lot. So how far in advance are you guys planning in order to be that consistent?
We have a 3-month planning every quarter. And we usually film 2 months in advance. So we have 8 videos per channel in the can. Now we do have some flexibility if things come up, if there's some movie that comes out that hits big. We're adaptable, but it certainly helps the quality of life. And we call this our QOL quotient. And when I mean consistent, it's like, and we'll talk about this later on in one of our other tips, but it's not trying to put too much of yourself out there to where the viewer they lose the interest.
So how did you pick when that day and time was going to be? Was that based on your quality of life, or was that based on something else?
Initially, it was because it was Cute Girls Hairstyles that started. It was when we knew moms were online. Sunday night.
So your target audience was moms, not...
Back then it was moms, because they were the ones who were stopping us in the mall all the time. It wasn't the kids, it was the moms. And we had a mom blog. Cute Girls Hairstyles was a mom blog before YouTube ever existed, or our channel ever existed. So we had a lot of moms who were already watching us there. And we knew that they were planning their week on Sunday night. They were planning what they were going to make for lunches. They were going on Pinterest and Pinteresting the smiley face sandwiches and things like that. And then our hairstyles were on Pinterest, and they started pinning our hairstyles for what, I'm going to do this on my daughter on Wednesday and this one on Thursday. And that's kind of how we chose. So it was Sunday nights at 7 p.m. We've changed that as YouTube got bigger, because now we have more teens watching.
Yeah.
So we have had to change that time, but we've always stuck to a schedule.
And so the point of the schedule wasn't so much, it doesn't sound like, an algorithm hack, as much as it was a human behavior.
Correct.
Like we just want you to know when to come back and watch another video.
Correct. We can't forget the human aspect. Everybody talks about the algorithm. What's more important than the algorithm is the human psychology.
Yes.
How does a human react? What is the dopamine fix they get off of your content? And how can you deliver that more efficiently?
Right.
That's what's going to be successful, not gaming keywords and things like that.
Absolutely. So when you think about consistency, what type of frequency do you think makes sense? Or for you guys, like that got you to 1 million subscribers, was it once a week? Was it once a month? Or are you saying like, no, like those guys were doing daily? Like what for you guys, what's the frequency you picked?
It has to be a personal choice on what you're willing to support. It is a lot of work. You see a lot of YouTubers that big friends of ours that have done daily and they burn out and they put a video out saying, I can't do this anymore. It's because that quality of life quotient, at first there's the dopamine of, hey, this is great and we're making so much money and we're getting so much subscribers and views out of this. But if you're having to plan your family activities based upon content you can make there, you've got it reversed. So for us, we wanted our normal life. We wanted to be just a regular family doing all the same things we do, carpools, sports, whatever. So we did one video a week. It was something we knew we could dedicate time to do and do it fairly well. We didn't really know what we were doing, but what we didn't know, we were trying to do well.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we did that once a week. And so some people, it may be twice a week, 3 times a week. There's other channels I know that do once a month or once every 2 months.
Right. And you can still get to 1 million subscribers.
Yes, exactly.
That way. Like one of my favorite YouTube channels, Dude Perfect, publishes every other week, twice a month. 30 million subscribers. I haven't looked how many views. But the value, going back to video number 1, is the content's always good.
It's always great.
Consistent. It's predictable. You know, like you're never let down. You're like, and you don't start thinking like, I don't have to watch every video. You're like, I need to watch every video that they do. You go back and watch the archive. So it's good content delivered on a good schedule, on a good rhythm, and whatever that works best for you. I don't think Do Perfect could crank out the quality that they do every day.
No.
But it's better, I'm asking this, to do a really good video twice a month? Or is it better to do an okay video daily? I know it's not a question people like answering.
Again, it goes back to the value you want to give the creator, or the viewer.
Yeah.
It's, how do you want to leave them better? If you want to just give them mediocre, but give it to them more often, yeah, you can do that, but I guarantee you they will burn out quickly.
Yes.
The viewer will.
A higher turnover in your audience.
It all depends upon the value they get out of your content. If you're delivering, we'll talk about this later on in another episode, but if you can deliver that value on a consistent basis without oversaturating, you'll have a longer life on YouTube.
The mistake a lot of creators make with this, though, is they're like, well, I need to deliver the value faster and faster and faster and more of it in order to keep the audience engaged, and they see some stats that make their channels grow, but is it really growing? Is it healthy? That's what we're going to talk about in the next video. So click that video you see on your screen, and we're going to talk more about oversaturating your channel and your market. See you there.